why don't we go there and we'll go over to gold and silver. So that's usually Patrick's lead in. So I know we have a couple stories about gold and silver and how the price is just climbing and the ability to get gold and silver is tough. But Patrick, why don't you give me some insight on gold and silver markets right now? You're muted.
One of the things that we expected in this market, thanks, Jeff, that we really thought we were going to see silver and gold do well this run. We're starting to see the case for that. Gold's going to all-time highs. Silver is hitting right now. They're saying it's $25, but if you really go out and look, they're paying $26 at the local shops. So you're already getting more than the spot price just at these shops. So when you look at the real supply of gold and silver, and this is an interesting statistic. So let's think about this, right? There is only enough gold that we've discovered throughout the history of mankind right now in all of history to fill up an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's right. That's how much gold we have. Like you could put just enough to fill up an Olympic-sized swimming pool, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it's a heaping, Olympic-sized swimming pool today. But there's just not very much gold out there. And it's a myth that there's so much gold in the people's hands. I don't think the governments are worried about confiscating gold again, because as we've said before, guys, there's just not very much gold sitting in a lot of Americans or even the global citizens' hands. What you're seeing is that these banks have a lot of the gold, and what we're seeing is a ton of purchasing from the banks. We are seeing that there is the COMEX going to be like depleted here of supply. We're seeing Andy Schechtman from Miles and Frankman's tell us that he has seen more purchases in silver in a 10-day period than he has almost in a whole quarter. I mean, you guys, he is so busy, he barely has the ability to supply everyone as they're coming in. They can't ship it out fast enough. And the simple test here is just go to your store. Go to your local gold shop, your local coin store. See how much an ounce of silver actually costs you today. If you can get it for $25, as Spot says, I'd be very shocked, because I guarantee you that's just not happening out there.
Dylan, I know I think you added this story earlier about how the gold is up to 2,000. And this, you want to comment on this a little bit?
2 comments. One, I don't believe you that is one swimming pool, Patrick. That sounds outrageous. But it's something to look up for sure. It seems like we'd have more, but I'm probably not right on that one. But I would say look that one up. But then the article, yeah, if you scroll down on that article, I think it has a really cool infographic.
This chart or more?
Do you have to share the screen?
Well, that would help. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you had it up there. Now it's I can't see the chart now. This one right here.
There we go.
I thought this was a really interesting one. Like we have seen gold push up, like Patrick says, it's like gold's pushing up, silver's pushing up, because people want to own these assets that, when we kind of financialized everything, we didn't need them. They were just a dead rock. And you hear a lot of people in the Bitcoin community call, gold and silver just dead, dumb rocks. But now people are seeing that a lot of the things that they had traditionally have had trust in to store their wealth or hold value might not be worth that trust. And so they're moving to things that have historically had that trust and have proven time and time again to hold that value and be valuable for humans. Gold and silver being those. And it's like this chart just kind of sizes what we're potentially in a very visual way.
This reminded me of the Wall Street chart, which you may have seen pop up while I was getting it already there, but it's very similar to me, and I'm going to try and get it again because it's, as usual, it's being elusive for me today. It's if you ever drive, if you're ever on a show and you're actually producing and putting all this together at the same time, it's kind of interesting to experience, but hopefully you guys can see that now. And there we go. So there's the Wall Street psychology chart. So if you look at that compared to the chart that we were just looking at, you can see the similar kind of comments and the capitulation. It's almost the exact same chart that Dylan's talking about here on this chart here. So, and
I would say go ahead and go back to that chart real quick, because I want to point out
to me.
That one right there. So that pink chart, the one that from the gold that we're showing, kind of basically shows we're at the complacency stage, right? And I know a lot of people think we're in the disbelief stage, that we're in a suckers rally,
right?
That's really going to
is
turn into the new
hope.
bull market.
Yeah.
So we got two very different points in this market. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've been thinking that we are at the disbelief stage because I mean, just from just that's my own opinion. I just like this. I see the frustration. A lot of people like, let's get it over already. We've been waiting for so long for things to go up, and we've seen like no one seems to there. But I'm also starting to see renewed interest in getting more information about gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Maybe it's just because of the circles that I travel in, but just I've seen more interest in the last month or so than I have in the previous 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. Patrick, what's your take on it? And you're muted again.
Sorry, I'd say that disbelief is the beginning of hope, right? That's kind of where they're at. So the end of one is the beginning of the other cycle. It's like a chicken or the egg situation. What I do believe is going to happen here is I just don't see much room for downside in any commodity right now. I don't see silver going down to 17. I don't see gold going down to 16. I don't see Bitcoin going down to 15. I don't see oil and gas coming down to the point where it's a reasonable bet for us to drive anymore. I think we're way past $1 gas. It's gone. It's never coming back. This is how I feel. So what I believe is happening is we're seeing the death of the dollar. This is just simply what we've been talking about. The dollar is worth less and less every day. So naturally, you would expect us to wake up and hear news saying things cost more. I am not surprised here.
Well, I'm going to make the case that for the fact that they could be right, that this could be that we are in what they call the return to normal or the complacency stage. Mm-hmm. So the way I make this argument was that if this is super bubble, everything's overpriced. Now, there's been talk about like inflation, then deflation, then hyperinflation. So we could be going towards a deflationary stage. That could happen. But also I could see that if there's an implosion and mass chaos in the financial world, I could see everything just kind of burning down and all value goes out through the window. And while prices might go up, but the value goes down because no one's going to be willing to pay $20 a gallon for gas or $100.
So let's take a step back though, Jeff. Help me paint a different picture. Okay. Tell me how things get better. Look,